Hey everyone, this is Landon with Viator DSP, and I wanted to give you a quick demo of my Marauder plugin. So I recently updated it and added a whole bunch of new features, most obvious being the UI. It fits the rest of my plugins. But I've optimized some of the DSP and added some more functionality. So this is a bit crusher plugin. We have the resample dial that will lower the sampling rate of the audio. We have the bit depth dial, which is going to lower the bit depth of the audio. I have this noise dial that introduces pink noise into the circuit, and then we have a mix knob to mix in the effect. I've got a high pass filter that goes from 40 to 500. We have a drive fader and a trim fader, the trim fader being the total output of the plugin. We have a reset button that will reset the dials. We have a phase button to flip the phase, and then we have a jitter button. So here's a quick demo of the resample dial, which is going to lower the sampling rate. So you can see that's the typical kind of bit crusher sound. Now let's lower the bit depth. You can hear the noise starting to kind of crunch in. And it goes down to 6 bits. Any lower you really wouldn't hear anything depending on the content, so I felt that 6 bits was a good place to stop. Can introduce noise, and the noise is actually not just a kind of noise oscillator that's going in the background. It's actually passing through the circuit, so you hear that the noise actually reacts with the resample and bit depth. So for example, if they're both at their initial value, I can pull in the noise and you can hear how it kind of sounds like an oscillator, but if I start playing with these knobs, you'll hear that they actually interrupt the noise. Like that, you can hear the noise is trying to come through, but it's being interrupted. And then if you push up the noise, it'll start to overpower it. The plugin is really dynamic in the way that the noise reacts with the rest of the plugin, and you can get really cool sounds from changing the resample and bit depth and playing around the noise. So you can get some pretty dirty sounds. Let's check out the mix. Cool, so that's the filter. Let's check out the jitter. So the jitter button is actually going to set a randomness with the resample rate. So you're really gonna only hear the jitter make a huge difference whenever you're changing the resample rate. So let's check that out. So now we have a little bit of downsampling, and let's check out the jitter. You can hear that it got a little darker and crunchier, and that's just the random nature of the jitter. Cool, so that's the jitter. And the last thing I want to show you is the drive. So I was actually working on distortion algorithms for another idea that I had, and I came up with something cool, and I wanted to just kind of include it in this plugin. So the drive introduces soft clipping and half wave to full wave rectification. The reason I included it in this plugin is because I kind of wanted this plugin to be a lo-fi plugin, and this drive actually sounded like a lo-fi drive. Check this out. So it sounded really lo-fi whenever I was experimenting with it, and I thought it'd be a great addition to this plugin. So let's really destroy this sound. So you can really destroy your sound with this plugin. It's really cool. This is probably my favorite plugin. I have the plugin up and an oscilloscope with a sine wave going through the plugin. So let's take a look at what the drive does. You're gonna see it does half wave rectification half the way up. And then when it gets halfway, it's gonna start doing full wave rectification. There's also a little bit of soft clipping, so that's gonna round off your edges a little bit. And let's look at what the resample and bit depth does. And if we introduce noise, it should get a little more random looking. There we go. That's pretty cool. So you can get some really cool effects with this plugin. I really hope you try it out. I really think you're gonna like it. So yeah, thanks for watching.